Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2023 science fiction horror film Alien Invasion. The film is directed by Fred Searle and it stars Sarah T. Cohen, Amber Doig-Thorne and May Kelly. Now this is a low budget UK based science fiction horror, and it comes from the team that have brought us many a B movie over the last few years, and many of them I have reviewed on this channel. There is a number of faces that you will recognise in many of the low-budget B-movies I have reviewed over the last 2 or 3 years. And this one focuses on, well, the clue's in the title. It's Alien Invasion. However, imagine Alien Invasion done on the tiniest scale imaginable. It focuses on a group of friends who are kind of celebrating, I think it's a birthday. They are round at one of the houses, and while they're playing a bit of truth or dare. And one of the dares is, I dare you to go and dive in your neighbour's pool. So they decide, in their wisdom, to break into their neighbour's property, dive in their pool, and then start poking around his house. And they come across this weird alien egg type thing and unwittingly release some kind of creature, which then proceeds to try and munch them, I suppose is the best way to describe it. Right, what are my thoughts on Alien Invasion? Well, this is, I suppose the first thing to say is really, did you really expect this to be really good? Of course it's not. This is from the same people that have done countless movies like this. They're done on a shoestring budget. They usually film them over a weekend. They don't spend a lot of time and effort on them. And this is no exception, really. Now, there are a couple of things here to make comment on that you could regard as positives, I suppose. Now, this is very, very small scale. However, I do think the way the creature or the alien has been filmed at times looks quite effective. They make it look quite effective. It's obviously meant to look very similar to, the aliens or the xenomorphs in like the Aliens films. It's got obviously that look and feel to it. That's what they're going for on a much smaller scale. And well, it's not obviously not in outer space. It's based on Earth, some cul-de-sac somewhere. But the alien effects at times look reasonably effective. Some of the CG looks a bit dodgy, but for a film again of this budget, you can, you can't expect much better in regards to the effects for a film like this. Very similar story with the performances. The performances are all of a decent level here. Again, some of these actors I personally have seen in many of these productions before. None of them are what you would describe as terrible actors. They all kind of know each other, so there's obviously a little bit of chemistry going on there between them, and I actually think May Kelly, who I've seen a lot in these productions, there is real potential there. I think she's got the right material. Just these films are not the right material, so I think if she were given a shot in a bigger budget film, she next couple of scales up, she'd probably do a decent job. And that's really where most of the positives end, really, with this film, because the rest of it is, number one, it takes itself far too seriously, this film. And when I've watched these productions before and they don't take themselves too seriously, I enjoy the films far more. The Christmas one that they did, I can't remember the name of that now. I really enjoyed that. The mutation with the rat thing was very funny. So when they kind of do it for laughs, sometimes unintentionally, I enjoy them far more. This film takes itself far too seriously. However, there is a moment in the film where there was real promise, where you get like a fist fight with this alien and a vicar. It's madness, it's bonkers, but it's got its tongue firmly stuffed in its cheek at that moment in time. It's just not enough of it. The film needed far more of that to make us, the audience members, just relax and realise that don't take this too seriously, please. We're just, we're having a bit of fun here. And unfortunately, because it takes itself too seriously, you can't help but be more overly critical about it, because there's nothing to take seriously here. You know, the plot doesn't make any sense. You know, wherever you live, wherever in the world you live, how many of us, we've got friends round at your house, how many of us say, I tell you what we should do, let's go and break into his neighbour's house, regardless of whether they got a pool, but let's just pretend your neighbour's got a pool. Let's break into his neighbour's house, go and jump in their pool, and then start sneaking around their house. Why would anybody do that? It doesn't make any sense. There's no explanation of where this alien came from. There's this like weird scientist or somebody that lives in this house that's got this egg from somewhere. Doesn't explain really how he got this egg. And this is supposed to be like an alien invasion. It's not much of an alien invasion, because, you know, it's decided to invade, you know, the suburbs of, you know, sleepy UK, some corner of the UK somewhere. So it's not appropriately titled, and the film itself takes itself way too seriously, and it just turns into a cheesy, slocky B-movie slasher film, really, because all you've got, and it's the same as many other the films that they've done, all you've got really is this alien chasing a group of girls around, you know, trying to munch on them. It's not interesting to watch. There's nothing here, really, other than that moment with the fight with the vicar and the effects and stuff. There are glimpses here of the film this potentially could have been if a little bit more care and attention had been put into the writing, to give us, you know, a more interesting film, make it a little bit more fun for the audience. You know, instead of just filming these things over a weekend or however long it takes to film, just take your time. You know, they probably at this point have made a fairly decent amount of money from all these films they're churning out. So stop churning out all these films, like, you know, over and over again, and just, rather than doing quantity and making them rubbish, just tone it down a little bit and do quality instead of quantity. So if you're doing 10 films a year, and it's probably more than that, to be honest, you know, cut it down to 5, and you know, increase the budgets on your films, increase the time it takes to film them, hire a better writer, and then you're going to start seeing the returns, I think, because in most of these films that I watch, there is some real potential there, and there are moments in some of them, and I've not disliked them all. Some of them I have found quite fun. So there is real potential there. I just think they're too interested in churning out these films, you know, way too fast, and the quality is just poor at times. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Alien Invasion. Unless, you know, you want to watch a schlocky B movie with your friends and have a giggle, there's not much here to recommend, unfortunately. So thanks very much for watching. I will be back with plenty more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.